Hi everyone, Gary Heydrich here. Hey, here's hoping you had a great Labor Day weekend. Boy, wasn't that a great, the weather awesome? You couldn't hardly pick better weather for the last long weekend of the summer. Hey, the fishing's pretty daggone good too. You couldn't hardly pick any better fishing for this time of the year. You know, there's good bass fishing over at Table Rock. Taneycomo, the trout fishing was just unbelievable. And of course, Bull Shoals things are picking up. First of all, let's go over to Table Rock. What a gorgeous weekend. Some nice fish caught out there on a variety of baits. Boys, if you want a smorgasbord, you got it at Table Rock right now. Took a trip up the James River on long weekends, busy weekends. I kind of stay away from the lower end of the lake and go up to the James. A lot quieter up there, and the fishing's very good. Now, one thing about Bull Shoals and Table Rock, a lot of the shad are starting to move back into the pockets and the creeks and the coves. Some of them are way back, some of them they're just about a quarter of the way in, some are even halfway back in. So experiment. What this means is good topwater fishing and have some good spinnerbait fishing up there as well. The whopper plopper's doing good. First thing in the morning, I like the smaller whopper plopper. It's one of the most, I think the biggest sensation in topwater in a long time. It's one that everybody's talking about, the whopper plopper. Try it. Caught my biggest fish over the weekend on this particular bait. And then as things kind of got a little choppy there for a little bit, I went to the buzz bait. And I love my buzz baits, and I just use a bigger blade, easier to keep on top. Caught a couple real nice fish on buzz baits. I like that gold tint this time of the year. Then of course the traditional popper type baits. There's a lot of them out there, and they're really producing right now. One of my favorite all-time topwater baits. Okay, then as about an hour and a half after sunrise, with all that shad activity on the bank and moving back, went to the old trusty spinnerbait. And boy, the spinnerbait fishing is really good right now. Starting to get really good on Table Rock right now. So good variety of baits picking up fish. By the way, for you deep water fishermen, there's still a good drop shot fishing going on for bass over some of the trees, and that's strong right now. Dock fishing's good at Table Rock. Picked up some fish early in the morning on top water around the docks. Also, still some jig fishing taking place. A variety of bait and spoon fishing out off some of the points as well. All kinds of activity lake-wise at Table Rock. Lake Taneycomo, I just visited with the boys out at Scotty's Trout Dock. They said they had a phenomenal weekend out there this Labor Day weekend. A lot of limits of trout being caught pretty well from Monkey Island all down through that Scotty's Trout Dock area, even close to Rockaway Beach. Just a lot of fish being caught at Lake Taneycomo. Now, if you like the power baits, Scotty's Trout Dock said the chartreuse is working. The white, the orange, and I tell you, pink is good too. The other day we had good luck with pink, and this is a nice little interesting bait as well. We caught some fish on over the weekend. Pink or bubble gums, real good on Taneycomo. It's a trout worm, is what it is, and it's excellent. And if you want some artificial lures, my favorite, the old spoon's working. Try that silver with the blue stripe. It's just really good, especially when they're running water. Cast that bait, that spoon, on the edge of the current, count it down to about 8 or 10, and then just work it slowly right back to the boat on the edge of that current. Pop your rod tip once in a while. That spoon is really good right now for artificial fishing on Taneycomo. Let's go over to Bull Shoals Lake. I talked with Scott over at the K-Dock just a few minutes ago. They had a good weekend. Just like Table Rock, the bass are really starting to move real good. They're catching fish on a variety of bait early morning, some spook fishing on topwater. The whopper plopper's doing good there as well. Popper types baits. First hour and 20 minutes, real good for topwater action. And then as the sun gets up, some people are just still going off the points and using Texas style plastic worms. Bass are coming up a little. They were catching them 25 plus around 30 feet, but now it seemed like over the weekend the Texas rig plastic worm folks were picking up some fish in 18 to 20 feet of water, as deep as 25. Just getting on the edge of those bluff points and working those old Texas rig plastic worms. And some jig fishing taking place out there as well. But just like Table Rock, the shad are starting to move there. They're starting to move back in the pockets and back in the creek arms and the coves. And the boys out there over the weekend, they said at K-Dock, using spinner baits did real good. They picked up several fish by just going down the bank throwing spinner baits and back in the pockets as well. So Bull Shoals bass fishing is really starting to heat up. I think they're going to have a phenomenal fall out there, without a doubt, for bass. Crappie, a little sluggish. They're picking up a few crappie in the deep water brush pile, but nothing hot. That should increase here. And walleye, there were several walleye caught out there over the past Labor Day weekend. And what they're doing is trolling the flats close to the river channel, but they're down deep. And I like, one of my favorite trolling baits is the flicker minnow from Berkeley. And the number 11 works real good this time. It's going on right now because the walleye are deep. And this gets down to over 20 feet. You know, it depends how what pound test you're using, but it will get down in the 20-foot range. And that's what you need to go to right now. The flicker minnow, number 11, you can either use the shad color or the chartreuse, worked over the weekend as well. Well, we want to thank you for being with us today. We're new, we're just getting started. We're going to try to find a happy medium here. And I do want to say that we have a lot of viewers and people down in Arkansas now, Harrison, Mountain Home, and we're going to be throwing in some White River fishing reports coming up, and also taking a look at Norfolk and some of the lakes down there. I know they've had some good fishing down there over the weekend on stripers. And one other tip, crappie, you want to go crappie fishing for a sure thing, right now, Truman Lake, you know, it's over there. We all know where Truman is. It's a great, great crappie lake, and it seems like the warmer the weather, the better the fishing is. And they're catching some good fish out there in about 15 feet of water. If you just want to take a day and go crappie fishing, Truman would be a good bet. It looks good. I tell you, we're going to have a great fall. And once again, thank you for watching us. Tell your friends about us. We're brand new. And be sure to subscribe. Subscribe, folks, because the more people we have, the happier everybody's going to be and the better the reports are going to be. And thank you. If you like us, let us know. Give us a comment. Happy outdoors, everyone. See you out on the water.